We're back. I figured out the problem. I'm getting better. See, that's the thing. I love that happened right now. So I just started a live a little bit ago. If you were here, I'm sorry you couldn't hear me. You couldn't hear me because my speaker was turned in because I was jamming while I did what I did, right? Turned off my speaker, and I think you guys should hear me. So before I get in here and start talking, I want to see if anyone can hear me. So I hope someone comes back on and tells me something. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Say something. Give me a heart. Can you hear my voice? That's what today is all about. It's the throat chakra, right? You couldn't hear me. Sometimes we talk a lot and people can't even hear us. What is that? I used to not talk, right? And I would be like, oh, okay, no wonder they didn't hear me because I didn't talk, right? Get it. But then I started talking, and then it seemed like people didn't hear me. And what is that? That's what just happened right now. Sometimes your speaker's turned on, and you just have to go and figure it out. Can anyone hear me? Sarah Richardson, cheerleader for the divine. I was telling you guys today that I got a new tarot card deck that I absolutely love. It's the Da Vinci Enigma Tarot, right? I love Da Vinci. It's been a thing for me along my way, my own little thing in my own little way. It's just fun for me, right? Yes, I love you, girl, right? So anyways, I've been pulling cards for myself lately, and hello, love. Mwah. Your semi sunshine. I love it. I love it. I love it. The sun's been shining here lately. I love it. So if you guys didn't know, I'm like a real dork. Like I'm a real life super dork, right? But what I'm a dork about is, you know, energy and like the meaning of life and like what really is all of this stuff out here, right? And so I was saying on my last video before everybody couldn't hear me that you guys saw the other day that I said I'm trying to learn how to listen, right? I love you guys. So like when I say certain things like that, like I really mean it, and it's deep, deep, right? And so when I was saying listen, maybe it wasn't exactly what everybody thought, right? So like I do healing work. So I listen deep because I have to listen deep because we have to get down in deep to the roots, right, of it. That's what the part I play in it. And so, you know, this thing kept coming up for me that I wasn't really listening, and I didn't know what that means. And so sometimes, you know, when you're connecting with your soul, when you're connecting with spirit, divine, right? Sometimes like you're getting it, but like it's like a little bit confusing, and that's completely normal. And that's why I try to like share this stuff with you like this so you can just know it's your way, you know, how you see love, how you get love, how you work with love. Like that's your way. It's not my way to tell you how to do that. But it's cool. This message today is really cool that I pulled out. It was for me originally, and then I saw how much it fit into so many people's lives that I've been connecting to lately. And I love my connections. Shout out to my family, everybody who cares about me and loves me. Hey girl, hey. You know, some people think I'm just like super tough out here and I could just take it all. But then there are some people that know that I just need to be loved up. I had a great hug this morning from my best friend. We hugged in the sun today. She's my new neighbor and I'm so excited. Fill up on love. What brings you joy, happiness, and peace? You know, that really filled my whole entire day to be able to hug my best friend like that in the sun. So excited for each other, right? I know it's been super tough for so many people lately. I have people that reach out to me all the time in the super tough, and I love you guys so much. And I'm glad that you reach out to me in the super tough because it's super tough in the super tough. And people do need other people. I was gonna label this video that people do really need other people. And, it's okay if you're at a place in your life right now where you can't really help any other people right now. But people need other people. That's okay. It's okay to fill up your cup and then come back out. But, a lot of people are going through things where they do need other people, but they're super blocked off, so they're not receiving and all of that, And all of that goes into the listen that I was talking about. Hello, love. And I love my friends, and I love the people that come into my life and really care and share their stuff, and, we're not competing against one another and all of that thing. It's such a good feeling, right? And, things pop up, that's how I've been learning. Like, to me, this life has been learning through the clues that I get inside of me, and learning how to associate that to what I'm supposed to do with it, what it means to me, what is what with all of this. And so, with the eclipse energy and the new moon energy, I know that this is like a really weird time. Like, people are messaging me like, oh my gosh, all this really weird stuff is happening. And I'm like, just love yourself. Just sit with yourself, love yourself, cut everybody else off and sit with yourself, right? I love your fucking guts, guys. And I really do send out major love. So, anytime you message me or I see you going through a hard time on here, I really do make it a point to send people love, because I know how hard it is. Sometimes I might not even be able to physically respond back to you because of whatever is going on. But please know that I do send my love, because I know that it's hard. And I know that only love knows how to help better than I know how to help, right? And so that's why I say send love. I love your fucking guts too, because it really works. And it works in a way that's better than anything your human self could really do. I know a lot of us think like, oh no, if this happens, I'm supposed to send flowers. Well, what if something happens and you can't send flowers? Send love. Send love, right? Because when you're sending the flowers, you're sending love in the flowers, and that's why the flowers are so effective, right? You can just send the love. If the flowers aren't there, you can just send the love, right? So, today's the throat chakra. So self-loyalty is self-royalty. Yes, my love. Today, a lot of people are feeling it in their throats, right? So how do I know? Because people call me, I'm a massage therapist. Oh my gosh. The number one story on a day like a Friday is for somebody to call me and say, oh my gosh, Sarah, I have this huge crick in my neck. And I love you guys. I fucking love you guys, because all I do with my dorky self, with my nerdy self, is I just sit here and run projects on the energy, right? Experiments. Right? I experiment with the energy that's in me, that I get, that people bring to me, right? And I just experiment with different stuff. And so, guys, today, remember that your voice is powerful. Like, this has been coming up. It's funny too, because like it comes every Friday, right? It has an intense focus every Friday, right? But it goes with a lesson that was like from a month ago, and then from like a year ago, and then from like a generation ago. And you don't really realize whatever. And everybody wants to know the specifics, but being here now, like being in your now moment, is really the only thing that matters. Tone makes music. Yeah, and I turned off my music because they said they couldn't hear me, so I put my tones on in the background. The throat chakra, right? So, it's wild because, the throat chakra could be open, it could be closed at the same time, right? So you feel like you're speaking your truth, but nobody's really fucking listening, or like you ain't saying nothing, and like you just need to say so much, or maybe you're saying so much and it's creating conflict, or, there's, hello, love. There's so much that can go on with your throat, and then your throat is in a direct relationship with your solar plexus. So your solar plexus is your power, and then you speak what you think is your power, and then you're speaking that into life, and that's not really the truth. Like, a lot of times, think of the things that we were taught to say that go against like the power of you as like really being love, right? There's so many things that are sayings out here that are like, that dumb us down as people, right? And we all say them, and we all do them, and we all fall into this trap of the word spells, right? It's just, I was talking to a great girlfriend the other day. You know, learning to speak has really been like healing me. You know what I mean? I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Wisdom and knowledge, right there, my sister. Yes. You know, and some people out here, you'll come out and you'll say, I really want to give this a try, and I really want to do this. And they'll be like, oh, action's all that matters. Like, just, okay. You know, this is why I say about listening, and listening with your in the ear inside the ear, right? So you're either listening with the ear inside the ear that wants to connect to the soul and the spirit and what that is, or you're listening with these outside ears of the everybody has a fucking story. That shit's confusing, right? So here's me thinking I'm not really sometimes a good listener, right? When the whole time that was just love protecting me, because what's going on inside is what I need to be listening to. This is what I need to be disconnecting from, right? But everybody's so fast and everything's so backwards that we're listening to the outside and we're ignoring what's inside, and we can't understand why we keep tripping. True flow is what matters. True flow is really all that matters. The balance in you. And we can call it a million different things. It's just simply put balance between the dark and the light, between the masculine and the feminine, within us. No judgments, no expectations. You do what you want to do with it. It's all right. It's all right, but just, are you using your words for you? That's what I've really been focused on really hard for a lot. And am I really listening, right? So I didn't necessarily mean listening to other people when I made that statement. I meant I'm really trying to learn how to listen with my ear inside my ear. I'm really trying to listen to my soul. All right. I'm out running errands. I'll come back for the replay. Love you. And guys, it's tough. It is tough. And so I love you all if you're trying to do this. And I love you all if you feel like maybe you're not doing it right. That's why I'm so quick to say there are no fucking mistakes. Just try. However you try, wherever you're at with it, you have everything you need for it. Inside will connect with the outside when the inside is connected to the inside. Yeah. When you connect to the inside, it's like where that conjunction happens. That God spark, that whoa, right? That magic, that abundance, that you feel it, right? Hi, beautiful. So conjunction, right? I have a funny thing I want to say to you about conjunction. And this is what I mean about taking time to listen in to the ear, inside the ear. Not this outside ear with this blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about sitting with yourself and listening with the ear that's inside your ear. Connected to your soul. That's trying to bring you into conjunction with what you love, with your heart, right? And so all that blah, 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 that's a distraction a lot of times. And it's hard because sometimes it's family and sometimes it's work and sometimes it's all the things that are supposed to be important. But we have to connect inside of our souls, right? So anyways, this is how divine, spirit, all of this works for me. Past couple months I've been hearing this word conjunction. And I'm going through something over here, right? I have a funny story I'm going to share with you guys. I fucking love you, right? And it all fits together. And this is what I mean about love and God and all of the lessons that I'm learning. Like, it comes in shit like this, right? Conjunction, right? So when this word was coming to me, conjunction, a couple months ago, I was in a place. It was kind of like the doo-doo, right? So I'm in the doo-doo, right? And I'm like, I know. Don't get conned by the junk. I get it. Ugh. Now, let me figure out what this is, right? And it kept coming and coming and coming. And sometimes I look these words up right away when they come to me, and sometimes I don't. And this one I didn't and I wouldn't, right? I know. Don't be conned by the junk. I make up words. I make up meanings for words by what I hear by it, right? I'm like, just don't be conned by the junk, right? I know. Don't be conned by the junk. I'm trying to not be conned by the junk. This is how it really works for me. This is what really transpires in my alone time, right? Yes, right? So today I pull out this deck. You know, it's brand new for me. I haven't ever pulled this. The word conjunction comes up, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me, right? So as soon as I saw it, I said, don't be conned by the junk, right? Okay. Action or instance of two or more events or things occurring at some point in time or space, right? So it's just like that place, like the and or the if or the, like where it just comes together, right? But only on this card, I love Da Vinci, right? So on this card, it gives me this, right? This picture. I love Da Vinci's pictures and I get lost in them for hours and hours and hours, right? And so it's basically saying that whenever you come together with others, you can shine your love, way bigger and huger, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like, whoa, holy shit. Like, I was not even thinking of that. Like, as, I was thinking, don't be conned by the junk, right? Don't be conned by the junk when you are wanting to create these pyramids of love out here, right? And that's a really tricky spot, man. Like, it's funny how it works, right? I've been hearing this for the past 2 months. Don't be conned by the junk. Don't be conned by the junk. Hello, love. All right, so I have to tell you guys a funny story. I am kind of obsessive, compulsive, in the cleaning department. So long time, my girlfriend got rid of these turtles. She had these turtles. She's getting a house and all of these things, and we have these turtles, and I swear I changed the turtle water, and in 3 days, these turtles stink again, right? I love them. They have personalities. We talk to each other. But they really just need, they're outside. They need to be outside, right? They just really need to be outside. The tank's heavy. It's swishing around. I'm just small. I don't want to do that. All right. So, but they're my friend's turtles. She's building a pond. It was this whole conjunction, right? That we were in, right? And so for the past 2 months, I have been smelling this whiff of this stink in my house, right? Didn't know where I was coming from. It wasn't all the time. It would just be an every once in a while thing. And when it was there, right? I have literally drove myself crazy, right? I've ripped everything out. I've wiped everything down. I've scrubbed the wall from the ceiling to the floor to the carpets. I did hours, right? Pulled everything out of the cabinets, the cupboards, did all that. I cleaned everything down, right? I could not figure out what this was. And I'm like, it's the fucking turtles. They got this stink, and then maybe it goes somewhere else, and then it just smells a little bit different over there or something. It's definitely the turtles. So I wake up today, and your heart is tugging and pulling for stuff. Hi, Ian. I'm like, all right, True, here's the deal. I'm done with these turtles. I do not want my house to stink. I just, the turtles need to be outside in the love juice. They need the love juice. I think that's why it's stinking up in here to tell us these turtles need the love juice. I said, I'm going to talk to Jess today because she got her house. I'm going to see if she doesn't want these turtles. Me and you are going to take them to a pond, and we're going to release them, and we can feed them all kind of hot dogs and do all kind of big things and tell them farewell, get the love juice, right? So she's totally about that life. I'm feeling good about it, right? So we're out of school, I'm feeling good. But we get in my car, and so I talked to my best friend. She wants the turtle, she's gonna do the paws, she's gonna do everything, right? And I said, okay, this is my last time cleaning the turtle tank. Like, by the time the next clean comes up, like, they are your turtles again, right? I'm good about it. Like, I feel like I'm in the flow about it, right? So I had her daughter's little purse. So I throw the purse in the car and we go to school. The stink that comes in my house sometimes was in my car, right? I'm like, oh my God. So True is in the back seat and she's like, oh, Mom, our car smells like the fucking turtles, right? So now I'm all mad again, right? And I'm like, that's it. I'm getting rid of the turtles. I'm cleaning out this car. I did not have any of this to do today. Really super busy day. A lot of stuff I had to do. I'm like furious by this point, right? So I go down, see my girlfriend. I'm super excited. Her and her husband just got a really great house. I'm just like in a whole nother zone. Pop back into my joy, right? So we go outside and we're talking and we're standing in the sun. And I was like, oh, shoot, I forgot I had the purse or whatever. So I bring the purse out. So we're sitting there talking and not even paying attention. So a little bit later in the conversation, she opens it. And here it was like some kind of like food from like 2 months ago that her daughter had. And like I've picked out this bag so many times. It felt like it was empty, right? This food was the stink in my house the whole time. In my house. Oh, I did everything but that. Like, when I tell you that I scrubbed in my house from the ceilings to the floors to the floors. Like, I got everything. The only thing I did not do was open that fucking purse. And that's where it was. It was not the turtle. I came back in here and I was like, what? You could tell it was gone. Oh shit, right? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. I mean, imagine what I was going through in here. I could not figure it out. I was about to say, like, it's the fucking water heater or something. I love turtles too, but they need the love juice. They need to be outside. Turtles in a tank at my house does not work. I'm never doing this again. I love you guys. So, just everything that you go through, it's funny. It's funny because a lot of times we can feel so alone out here and we can feel like we lost our sense of joy, happiness, and peace. Like, you get to a place in your life where like, I found like a joy, happiness, and peace place in my life, right? And then recently, I found myself not really feeling so joyful, not really feeling so happy, not really feeling so peaceful. And so it's like a reevaluation comes in all the time, right? And you can think all day it's the turtles and it's the food in the bag that you didn't know the food was in the bag, right? We don't know. And we try as hard as we can and we do whatever we can. And that's why I say, guys, that there really are no mistakes. All I really been talking about lately in the past, like, I'm going to say like 5 months heavy is work friends, right? I work for myself. I work by myself. I'm by myself all the time, right? I want work friends so bad. I want to walk in and be like, hey, girl, what'd you do last night? I don't even care what it was. You know what I mean? Whatever. My heart wants work friends. Only learning lessons. We're definitely always learning lessons. And you really can only learn a lesson when you decide that you want to learn a lesson. Like, lately, it's been coming up for me, can people change? Yeah. I've changed a lot. And then I have a lot that hasn't changed at all, and for every person, that's very different. But in order to change something that you want to change in your life, that takes you wanting to try to do that. You have to think the thought to want to try to do that. At least. I think that's the mustard seed, right? I think that when you can think the thought that you want to change something, then that's the mustard seed. That's the, that's the starting point, right? When you can think it, when you can feel it, when you can say it, now you're really in it, right? So in the Da Vinci cards, there is a soul code, right? So all the cards that I pulled were in the reverse. And so, I always think like opposite, but it's not always really opposite. Reverse isn't bad, I learned. Reverse is like just in a different position of the energy, right? So the soul code for this card is the conjunction of like-minded friends or the convergence of support circumstances encourage the soul, right? So when we're around like-minded people, that encourages our soul. That's a good feeling to have your soul encouraged. When you learn to listen into your soul with the ear inside, you learn that you want to be encouraged. You want to be around friends that encourage you. That feels good. That's a really good feeling inside. Thank you for being my inner work friend. I love you. The relief of shared ideas in the mutuality of peers helps your path of destiny appear in sharper focus, right? The enjoyment you experience when things come together in one bond makes life worth living. Healing and solstice come from alliances and coincidences, providing resolutions and happy endings, right? And they're saying that that's what conjunction is, that word, for your soul. Like, that's what this is saying that it means, like, for your soul. And all I've been wanting is work friends. People who are like-minded as me, people who, want to enjoy life with me, right? But you don't always get that when you want that, right? It gets a little sticky, right? So it was reverse, right? So the reverse is telling you that in this, that is the soul message, right? But dissipation and excess cause fracture and delay. Dissipation is squandering of money, energy, or resources, right? So when someone's coming in to your space and sucking your money, your energy, your resources out, right? So a lot of people might be feeling that, right? Too many commitments mean no social time or relaxation time. It's hard to get people together. No cooperation possible. So if you're feeling in a place where you're feeling like that, you're feeling like people are draining your energy, you don't really have cooperation, you need to take some time to yourself. You do. You really, 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 really do. That's the only place that you can go in and start to listen to your soul, so you can start to be around these like-minded people. That's how you do that. Healing and resolution is very real, but you have to go in and sit with yourself. It's not like what anybody outside is saying. What the inside is saying and how you need to listen inside is very different than what you're hearing outside, right? But healing and resolution are very real. I experiment with them all the time. Alliances work well and friends gather in fulfillment. Say that. If you're in a place where you're feeling dissipated from the people that have been around you, and you're just at the place where you're taking that first step to be with yourself and kind of like shut off the outside world and really go inside and let the inside start to kind of refill you back up, you need to speak these things into you. And so that's why today was such a big day for me to say this, because we really need to speak that our alliances work well. We need to speak that our friends are good to us. We need to speak these great things into our life. Our energy only goes from 0 to 100. Yes. We need to speak difficulties coming to an end. If you're having a difficult time in your life, and do you take time to speak on that, to speak that love into that to get that out of your life, or do you just hope that somebody else deals with it, or hope it just kind of fizzles out somehow? Speak that up. You know, say, I am blessed with happy coincidences. Thank you for the surprises. That's just saying that. That's putting that out there. Thank you for serendipity. That's when everything just fits. You can experience mutual support and sharing and caring and love. Say that. I experience mutual support. People do need other people, but what's been happening is we've been around people for so long that we feel like we can't trust, right? And so then we're not really letting anyone in because we really don't trust. And so we need to work on that whole trust piece with ourselves, so then we can listen to our soul and who our soul is trying to connect us to. I don't know ever if it makes sense. We're just finding our balance inside. We're finding our balance inside of us, family. And sometimes some of it happens so fast. Sometimes some of it happens so slow. It's, you know, what you focus on, that's where it goes. What you say, that's how it goes. Just love you. Just love you. When you're finding balance, self-love is what's going to help you. You know what I mean? If you're too far over here, self-love's going to bring you right back here. If you're too far over here, self-love's going to bring you right back here. No matter what, if you get too far ahead of yourself, self-love's going to pull you back to the now. If you get too far behind yourself, self-love's going to pull you back up to the now. Try to. But it's up to us to make choices for ourselves, right? We have to make choices in self-love, and a lot of times it's in those choices that we either choose ourselves or we choose somebody else, and there's no mistakes. There's no mistakes. You know, many of us aren't feeling like we're mixing well with other people. That's what a lot of people have been messaging me. And I love you, and I know what that feels like. And sometimes I feel that, and sometimes I do feel like everything's mixing perfect, like I do right now, right? Many of us are at odds with the way our lives just keep going around and around. You know, we say that we're gonna do this when this happens, and it just doesn't, we never seem to get there, right? And a lot of people are frustrated. I get it. You know, a lot of people feel really excluded from other people, you know? I get it. And then a lot of people think that, or a lot of people have changed so much that they can't really appreciate the old pleasures that they had before, right? So what used to bring you joy, happiness, and peace is different. And now the things that used to bring you joy, happiness, and peace, you're exploring them, and it's not really working out for you, and you don't know what that is, right? It's just you're changing. And so the more you go in and connect with that, the more you're going to attract that and you know, have that conjunction. Love wants us to heal in conjunct. Love wants us to come together. You know, love wants us to love ourselves and nurture these hurts. I guarantee it. If there is one thing I know for sure about the divine, it is like the whole entire blueprint of the divine is self-love. And like each person's is hella different, and it's dope. Yeah. All right. Example, if we are at 100% energy and we allow outer and of course ourselves get to our energy level down to 50%, it takes double the amount of energy to bring ourselves back up to 100. We are energy beings. Absolutely. I love that you broke it down like that. And you know, that's how it works in energy transference. And energy transference works like with everybody. You know, I do massage, so energy transference is a big thing for me, right? That's why I talk about it a lot. But even if you work at the grocery store, or you work with kids, or you are a police officer, or you are, you know, a wife, a husband, you know, these things, these different works that we do, the families that we have, everything like that, there's a big energy transference. And some people, and some of the things, it doesn't even just take 50%. Like sometimes it'll take you all the way down to the bottom, and that's burnout. And we are really energy beings. Love really is the key. And love is really the only thing that's going to guide you. You know, love is going to talk to you in your language. Love is going to meet you on the things that get your attention. Love knows better what gets your attention than I know. Electromagnetism. Yeah. We respect our energy level. We definitely must respect our energy levels. Yes. Yes, and self-love is learning that, learning how to respect your energy levels, learning that, hey, when I go and I do this and then I come back, I feel like shit. Like I just had to do that the other day about something that's like, for years, there's been a blessing in my life, right? And the way we need to protect our energy. And that way we need to protect our energy. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, and, you know, that's another thing that's been coming up for me too. And, you know, these are all just routines that at first, if you're not used to, you know, filling back up your energy field, if you're not used to protecting your energy field, if you're not used to listening to your energy field telling you what's happening, but you're out here, right? You know, it's all part of the lesson. It's all part of what we're here to learn. You know, we're here to learn that we do, you know, in our roots, we do keep ourselves safe and protected. You know, we do, you know, have these feelings inside for a reason. We do have power. Love really is real. We do speak it into existence. We do see it. We are connected, right? All of these things are very real. But we have to listen inside instead of outside. And that's the really difficult part. People get really caught up in all of the outside distractions. And I'm telling you, man, like it comes in like, you know, it's terrible because people are saying like, my distraction is my family. Your distraction is not your family. You're letting your family distract you. And so then that's hurtful. Whenever you're saying your family is your distraction, they're feeling like, what the fuck, right? But you're letting that. You're choosing to let that happen. You're not blocking that off and figuring what all that is into you to see. You know, that's what I do. I experiment with it to see how it smooths out the energy on the other end. You know, finding new friends who share your interests takes you to go in and connect inside with what you love in your interests. Listen to your intuition. Hell yeah. But, you know, you can't always really listen to your intuition either, Margie. And I love you. And I love that you said that because, you know, a lot of times, like our intuition and our third eye and our sacral chakra are in a direct relationship. So this is how I speak, right? This is how I see it. So I learned it through the divine, right? And so a lot of times the trauma in the gut and the fear and the worry and the shame in the gut, right? That will have you off in your intuition. So you think that the whole entire fucking world is against you and you're scared of everything and anything out there. And that's not your intuition. That's not the divine. That's fear. That's the energy of fear and shame and trauma and guilt. And it's running you. And they're like, how do you know? Anytime somebody comes up to me and they're afraid of everything, they usually 9 times out of 10 talk about their intuition in their guts and saying that like they trust their intuition so much. And I'm like, that seems like a really old fear. Energy is our core. At our core is where we feel everything. It's our solar plexus. It tells us all. Yes, which is the 528. They don't call me Miss 528 for nothing out here. Yes, 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 yes. And in learning about the core, the solar plexus, the 528, you know, it was a pretty hectic journey. It wasn't like this thing where I was like on this rose petal floating down in the ever protected lanes of love, right? It felt like war sometimes. I love you guys. We're just trying to find our balance. We're just trying to find our balance. We're all very smart. We all know a lot of stuff. We all need to love ourselves more so we can just come to these conjunctions and shine it out. It doesn't have to be a big competition and fight and all of these things. You got to cleanse your energy field and clean out your chakras and do shadow work. Absolutely. You have to do that. Like, that really is a real thing. You know, you need to release the old to rebirth the new. And that's actually in this message. Energetic fatigue is what I've been going through. Going in, respecting my boundaries, knowing when I'm giving my power away. Woo, sis, I love you too. Energetic fatigue is what I've been going through too, sis. And it's crazy. Like I said, like, it came from one of my best blessings ever. It's a blessing in my life. It's been a blessing in my life for like the past 7 years. And it just kicked my ass. Cheers. It happens. I love you. And that's what I've been learning too. I've been learning to listen inside to myself and my body. Learning to respect my boundaries a little bit better, you know. Learn to weigh out the pros and the cons. That hasn't always been my favorite thing. If you've known me for a long time, you really know that, right? You know, it's not really like the easiest way out here. It's a beautiful mess. I've been sharing that song lately from that guy that I found. I love his work. Londrell, I think. Life is a beautiful mess. You know, guys, maybe, you know, I don't know. This is something that I wrote down because it's something that I did today. You know, call an old friend who you share interests with. Call an old friend that makes you feel joy, happiness, and peace. And that's what I did this morning. And it's so funny because, like, it's like my whole life just, like, opened back up from I was kind of closed off there for a long time. Love to love. Hell yes, girl. Hey, Kaylin, I love your fucking guts. I miss you. I was just thinking about you. I love your guts. I love this message. I love you. Energy seeks same energy. Yeah, like attracts like. It's all universal law. I mean, all the universal laws are playing out at the same time, right? So conjunction to me is so fucking dope because it's like, it's when you don't really have to like plan it or anything and everything just meets up and fucking shoots for the stars and it's just great. It's flow. It's balance. It's just people who are like-minded. Yes, like-minded people. And they just flow right together where they need to be. And they just do things to encourage and help and it's just wonderful, right? It's not something that you're trying to fit into this, like, fit this thing for me. No. And it's so funny because conjunction's been coming to me for like 2 months. And I'm like, yeah, don't be calmed by the junk, bitch. You know, I was saying that to myself. And it was like a way deeper thing than that. And like, I was too busy trying to clean up the stink. I was not paying attention to that. That's okay. That's okay. If you guys missed it, I had this really terrible stink in my house and I just found out today what it was. I scrubbed everything down from head to toe. Just found out what it was. So guys, yeah, we're finding our balance inside and it's tough, right? So birth, death, rebirth, right? These are things that come up around this time, right? I know they come up really deep for me. I know they come up really deep for a lot of people. And you know, they take me really deep too. So like when I spend time with myself, I'm a dork. I told you guys I spend a lot of time alone. You know, birth, it's deep. It all goes so deep. Rebirth, yes. You feel it in your guts, but it's happening energetically. Nobody really knows like what's happening, you know what I mean? And it's like energetic. I see it energetic, right? And so I love like Jesus and all of this stuff, right? And I've learned so much from that energy along the way of like trying to make sure I was okay, trying to make sure you know, for a long time I felt like I wanted to make sure that the work I did was like okay to God, like accepted to God. You know, I do healing work. Like I went to a healer, my knee healed, I started doing healing work. These things happen and I wanted to make sure that I was like in the lane with God, right? That's all the love bubble. I love you, girl. That's just, you know, it's just confirmation after confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. When you go in with yourself, that's really how you can find joy, happiness, and peace. When you cut out all these distractions and you listen with your inside ears and you put yourself in your own love bubble, and when you have a hard time with somebody, you put them in a love bubble, I'm telling you, you will change the game. in your life. That's the only way. That's the only way. But these talks, they do help, right? So I pulled this card, right? One of my favorites. I have the Leonardo da Vinci Enigma Tarot cards. I just got them, right? And what is this, guys, right? So this is Leonardo's, Jesus being born, right? And so how crazy. The Adoration of the Magi, right? The Adoration of the Magi. Now, this to me is cool because this picture is famous and it's never even been completed. He didn't complete it, right? Never finished. But it's famous. So, do we really have to finish to get there, right? So that's what I loved about this is like, it's still art, even if it's not finished. Your life is still beautiful. You know, everybody wants to get to this finish. Everybody wants to get to the end of the story. Everybody wants to, like, I don't know, be finished. Be finished with, well, then what are you going to do? We own the energy of creator and the ability to create. Yeah, and I don't even really think of it as an own thing. We just embody. So the Adoration of the Magi was a depiction of the birth of Christ, the Son of Mankind, right? And so I love Da Vinci, and he was talking about how the theologians thought of the nativity like the rising of the sun upon the darkness of the ignorance and sin, right? So I don't know, you know, I take things really super deep, right? No judgment for anything. I'll take one thing and I will think it to death, right? Yes, sis, I'm a masterpiece that's still in progress. Yeah, and you're absolutely fucking beautiful. You're beautiful. You're incredible. You know, I think about you and I get tears in my eyes for like how much you've been through. Oh, I love you, girl. See, and I love online. And recently I've been like hating people. But like you know, you have to go in and you have to sit with yourself because I really do have a lot of people that I really do love. And Betty is one of them. We don't have to be finished to be beautiful. We don't have to be there to be beautiful. We don't have to make it to be beautiful. You know, we're just trying to work these things out of us. We have a lot of hurt that we carry inside and we need to release it and get it out. And that's what we need to do. Embodiment is ownership. Yeah, and I guess I'm not really like strong, firm there, but I like that. I like that, Stephen. So the sun was divinity to Leonardo, right? And I resonate with that. My soul resonates with that. You know, I like the sun. It does something for me. It charges me up. It fills up my cup. It masterpiece. Yes, I love you. I love you too. And so, you know, a lot has been coming up lately about Jesus. I meet people that are all different kinds of religions and sectors out here, and they believe or they don't believe, or they do it or they don't do it. I love your fucking guts too. I love you guys. I love Jesus. I did a thing where I said Jesus' name 100 times for 30 days one time, just because somebody mentioned it. I was like, that sounds interesting, right? And I always like take this deep, and like anytime I ever get like new information, I always take it in and I always feel how that resonates with me, right? But Jesus has been a big help to me on this beautiful mess of life. That's one thing I know. I don't know what nationality he was. I don't know really the story. I mean, you hear all these analogies of what this is, and how do we really know who's right? Right? What does it mean to you? When you block out all the blah, 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 blah about what Jesus is, and you going with you, then that's all that matters. Right? This is what I'm just sharing with you as we go along, because only love is real, guys. Jesus to me is about healing, chakras, my voice, building my life, right? Building my actual physical life. People coming up against me, and how do I handle that, and how do I be love even when that's happening to me, right? I got all kind of really cool books about Jesus and information and facts and all kind of things. There's power in the name of Jesus. It will help you. It will help you. Amen, girl. Amen. We just know that he's there when we need always. Yeah, and I don't know the story. I really don't know. I don't know. I just know when I'm connected to that energy and when I feel like that energy is teaching me how to find my joy, happiness, and peace, that's when I feel good. The process isn't always so good. But when you get out and you work through that process and you come out of it, then you understand it a little bit better, what that energy really is and what it means, right? And to each their own. However you believe, right? I have some people that just hate me for the way Jesus. And I'm like, you guys act like I slander him. I don't. I would never. I love Jesus' energy, right? I just don't have to listen to your story about it. I don't know. I don't really know. Just like I never met my dad till I was 20 years old. Sometimes you just don't know. And you have to go inside and listen inside with the inside ear. So the soul code for this card. I love this deck again, right? If you didn't hear me, it's the Leonardo da Vinci Enigma Tarot deck. And it just resonates with my whole soul. I read it how I want to read it. I do what I want to do. But today this message hit for everybody. Joy is the natural state of the soul when it is aligned with its destiny. Joy is the natural state of the soul when it is aligned with its destiny. That's deep. Joy casts a radiance upon the destined path, making the next step easy and lighter. All things come together to enhance happiness when you take up your unique place in the universe without fear or apology. As you embody the gifts given at your birth, the star of your destiny shines through you. This light can shine upon those around you, awakening and encouraging those who have lost their hope. That kind of explains what Jesus is to me. Oh, sis, I need to jot these down. Deep and beautiful. I love you. I love you. I call Jesus dude sometimes too. He knows my heart. Me too. Me too. And sometimes I say, fuck, like I really feel like I'm not getting any of this right. Help me. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be... Ugh, I love this message. I love this message. I love this message, right? Jesus to me has been teaching me how to find my joy, happiness, and peace. Again and again and again and again whenever I need to. And every time it's like a similar lesson, but a brand new lesson, and you just never really know, right? But to me, in my heart, and in my life, and how I operate my life, Jesus helps me connect and listen only in to my joy, happiness, and peace. And that's hard to do. That takes a lot of work. Hi, everyone. That's what that means to me. So whatever story you have about it or wherever you have about it, I respect it and I love it. I respect it and I love it and I honor it and I cherish it, and I'll never say that you're wrong. But I'm here to tell you guys that getting to know what this Jesus energy was trying to teach me, it was trying to teach me that joy, happiness, and peace, that's where I feel good at. And making choices to get to my joy, happiness, and peace, or stay in my joy, happiness, and peace, or protect my joy, happiness, and peace, those decisions are very hard sometimes. And people will come up against you. And they will bump and crash and say all the things and bop, 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 bop. Listen inside. Cut all that out and listen inside. Jesus helped me be quiet. and block all that out. Because that's the only way you find joy, happiness, and peace. Because love is immeasurable and so deep that I cannot comprehend it. And what a safe and beautiful, yes. Absolutely. I love this message too. Thank you. I love you. A lot of people won't like it. I don't care. This is real life. A lot of people out here are really mad and angry, and then they get mad and angry if you're living in joy, happiness, and peace, and like it's just all kind of stuff, right? Go inside of you. Go inside of you. That's where you'll find Jesus. It's inside. It's an inside job. Jesus isn't coming to save you. It's already in there. But what are you doing with it? Pesky NPCS. I don't even know what that is. I love you. Because a lot of people aren't feeling joy, happiness, and peace. And I send love, and I wrap you in love bubbles, right? So that's what Lori was talking about. I wrap everybody up in a love bubble, and I make it all different. And I can do it whatever way I want to. But what's going on is that, you know, a lot of people are hiding from the sun, meaning that they don't want the sun to illuminate what's wrong. They don't want this. They don't want that to come and show, right? And so therefore, they're living a life that they're avoiding things and tucking things down, but they're there. They're so actively present in their energetic field. So they're creating that in their lives. And so when people are miserable and people are doing these things, it really is in you. And really all other people can do is send you love. Because when it really comes down to the dirt, right? When it really comes down to the dirt of like actually really wanting to heal your life and what's wrong in your life, right? It comes with a thought. I want to try to be different. People can change. Everyone can change. I've changed so much in my life. And I will admit it out loud to everybody that there is, right? I wanted to change though. You have to want to change to actually change. And that's nobody else's business but your own. There are a lot of fakes out here. And you do have to listen in to know who are the fakes and to know what is the fakes and the distractions. You have to learn how to listen to your own soul. Because like I said, sometimes it seems like it's the blessing. And it's not. I crochet baby blankets and imagine them as hugs as I cuddle in their blankets. Oh my God, I love comes in so many forms. How amazing is that? I love that so much. Oh my God, I love that so much. And that's why I love when people do what they love. You know, if you're making baby blankets and love and you're doing that is so much love. When you're making food and you're doing that is so much love. When you're watching babies and doing that, anything you do, any job you have on this planet is important. Fix the heart. Fix the heart. The heart has been through a lot, and I totally get it, and I totally understand, right? But that's what Jesus helped me do. Fix my heart. Learn how to love. You know, I made up a prayer that I have been saying for 8 years, 9 years maybe. And that is what it's about. It's about helping fix my heart. Let me see through eyes of love. Let me hear through ears of love. Let me smell through smells of love. Let me taste through taste of love. You have to invoke these things in your life. Many people are trying to avoid fixing what hurts. And I send love. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard whenever what hurts gets illuminated. I know that's a really tough time. But you know, we're birthing our lives. You know, we're if you had a broken heart and you go in and you let love heal your heart, right? Then you're gonna come out and you're gonna be new. You're gonna be different. You're birthing into a new person. You do have to make conscious decisions. Absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, you know, I know a lot of people bumped up against me saying I'm trying to learn how to listen. Don't bump up against people when they say they're trying to do something. Encourage them. I I can handle it. I know how to block out the distractions and listen inside, right? But if for you, you know what I mean, if you feel like someone's saying that they want to try to do something, I would definitely encourage them. I would definitely encourage them to try that, right? Because we have to try. We have to try. If you're not trying, then you're not making choices. Peter 4:8, above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Absolutely. And you know, if you're dealing with somebody that you just can't love and love on and whatever, just love them enough to walk away and to be with yourself. Love them enough not to keep on, right? Because I get that too. I hear a lot. Everything is all an allegory, right? Feel into the truth. The truth is in your heart. The truth is, it's fear and love out here. You know, a lot of people, what hurts your heart is that, you know, maybe someone promised you something and it was something you were expecting to bring you joy into your life, right? And then it missed the mark. And so then what's the ultimate feeling right after that? So like, I promised you this, we're going to do this, it's going to bring so much joy, all these things, and then I miss. You know, you feel let down. You feel let down out of joy. That's how fast it happens. So like, you know, I learned and I practiced and I studied and I did all the things to keep myself in joy, happiness, and peace. And then just every once in a while, that really does happen. You come out of joy, happiness, and peace, right? Because what you expected to bring you more joy, happiness, and peace, it didn't make the mark. It didn't pan out the way you thought it was going to pan out. And so then your sense of pleasure is jaded. You don't want to trust people. Now, you know, when you're in the now moment and you get a new opportunity that's like actually really legit, because your heart went through that other thing, you're like, no, you know, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to team up with you because I just got burned. And, you know, such a normal story, right? That's so regular. It happens every day. Or maybe, you know, the recognition of success that you sought has not really been to the extent that you hoped, right? So we all have these goals of success for ourselves, right? And maybe the goal, you're not where your goal was. That's like a blow to the chest. You may feel exhausted or burnt out. You may feel like relationships that should be happy have fallen into a mutual, just we tolerate each other. You might be at that place in your life. But when you choose your soul and you choose what is joy to you, what brings you joy, happiness, and peace, that's self-love, right? When you are making choices out here and you're choosing for what brings you joy, happiness, and peace, and to every single one of us, that's very different, right? So I am not a judge on your joy, happiness, and peace. Get it how you live. Get it how you live, right? But when you choose your soul, when you choose your joy, happiness, and peace, you choose your soul. That's self-love. That's the ultimate self-love. And that's how you're birthing this new life, right? So like, if you're going through a situation that you don't like and you want to come into a situation that you do like, there's going to be a lot of changes along the way. It's not just going to like, everything just disappears and everything just pops back up. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to sort it out. When you want to find the stink in your house, you have to rip everything out, only to find it's in this little thing. Joy and well-being make you feel young. They make you feel content, lucky, blessed, grateful, thankful, like overwhelmingly. Joy. You are able to see things from an optimistic standpoint. Always think up. You are really able to, you know, if you go through something bad, you are able to send out a thought about the opposite, about what you know, what that bad thing that you experienced in your life made you want more with your heart, right? Like, whoa, I didn't even, sometimes that brings things alive in your heart when you go through something that hurts your heart, then that it's kind of like bringing it alive to what it really wants. We are all on a journey, and understand the journey that you're on. Bible say, with all thy getting, get and understand. Yeah. Understand. We need to understand what's really happening, because a lot of people are spinning out, man. A lot of people are hurting really bad, and a lot of people are wanting to give up and wanting to quit, and it hurts my heart that people are feeling like this, and it hurts my heart that it really is different than the way everybody says out here, and it's much simpler, and there's a lot of distractions, right? And how do you say that and stay being nice, right? You're so beautiful, sis. I'm so glad I caught you today. I miss you. I miss you too, girl. I miss you too. You know, a lot of people are, you know, in listening outside versus listening inside. A lot of people are thinking that, you know, they're not achieving as much because they're paying attention to the outside, whenever, you know, a lot of things that people are doing or saying or whatever, it's not even real. I'm sorry. It's not. It's really not. You know what I mean? Like, they have this big new car, they have this big new house, they have all this stuff, and then they don't tell you all the times they're stressed out because they can't have their bills, they can't travel like they want, they can't do this, they can't do that. You know what I mean? It's not all it's cracked up to be, and that's why you can't live for the outside. You got to live for the inside, for your joy, happiness, and peace. So if someone's a billionaire and they have an RV and they travel around the world and they do all the things, right? You might look at them and be like, oh man, I really want to do that. But like, in your heart, you want to be a teacher, you want to like be in the town, and you want to like make cookies. And so you get this $1 million and you're traveling around, and you're not happy, and you feel like a selfish bastard, right? But really, it's just because you know, what joy, happiness, and peace means to you is like making cookies for the kids and teaching them. That's what I mean. Satisfaction and success are yours. Speak that. I will be successful in my life. I will be satisfied in my life. Show me what will make me successful. Show me what will make me feel satisfied. Enjoy happiness and peace. And this is why I said, when I started creating my life, when I started doing this, I was just asking for simple things: joy, happiness, peace, grace, ease. You have both the energy and enthusiasm to see things to happiness. So a lot of people get to working on things and they get so far in, they feel like they don't have enough energy to finish. Just fill your cup back up, fill yourself back up, and then finish. We're not on anyone's timeline but our own. It's our choice. And, you know, if your body's telling you and your soul's telling you that you need to rest and you don't listen, it's going to come to the time where you're just going to, like, break your leg or something. You're just going to have to sit down and chill the fuck out. And I had to learn like that sometimes. For sure. For sure. You know, let love light you up. How it lights you up. Ask love to come in and light you up. Not all is dark and hopeless and lost and done here. You know, I talk to so many people, they're like, oh my God, it's really the end of the world, Sarah. And I'm like, I really don't live there. I really don't. I'm out here saying, you know, take some time with yourself today. If you have to be in your car, if you have to go in the bathroom, whatever you do, and say, hey, you know, what is this about joy, happiness, and peace? If you're mad and frustrated and not happy, please ask that today in your alone time. Make some alone time to ask that. We gotta want it. You know, in order to make changes in our lives, in order to change the things that aren't working for us in our lives, we gotta want it and we gotta try. And that's why I love my solitude, you know, because nobody is really cheering me on out here. I go in my solitude, and that's where I find that cheerleader for the divine that I come out here with. Like, I find that in my solitude. And so, yeah, I have a bunch of good things that go on and sometimes in my life. And even like in the middle of everything being so good, if it feels chaotic or it feels frustrating or whatever, I have to kind of like nicely like close that off and come in with my soul and realign back with my joy, happiness, and peace and what that means to me. And so I could be who I'm supposed to be out here. You know, and sometimes you lose sight of your joy, happiness, and peace, and you have to re-find it, and that's okay. It's like that soul time. You know, that time alone, like, make that be your soul time. Don't be so, oh my gosh, I'm so alone. Like, no, ask it questions. Learn. Build that. So, you know, one of the cards I pulled was the Hermit, right? And so they say that this card here, Leonardo da Vinci drew this of himself, right? When he was like kind of like at his like end phases. And it said in this book, the old man in his solitude ponders the mysteries of life, away from the distractions of the popular thought. He discovers the power of soul. Holy shit. First of all, to draw a picture of your own self is like a big deal, right? I have tried. I'm not even good at writing a bio yet. I'm getting there, working on it. But it's hard to fill yourself up with love. It's hard to talk yourself up with love. It's hard to draw yourself up with love. It's hard to, you know, it's hard to come from where we've been through into this place of joy, happiness, and peace. Like, it takes a lot of strength and courage and patience and endurance and lessons and falling down and get back up and falling down and get back up and, you know, all of these things, unfinished projects and the unknown and who really fucking knows, right? But the old man, the elder, right? It's like, learn something, sit down, listen for a second. In his solitude, by himself, ponders the mysteries of life, away from the distractions of popular thought. What's popular thought? It's the programs of all the things you're supposed to be doing and thinking and saying and being and worried about and all of those things, right? Popular thought. That and he discovers the power of the soul. It's in there. It's in you. It's in you. It's in me and it's in you. I love this deck too, girl. This was so fucking huge today. I had to. I didn't even want to. I have other shit I want to do today, but I did it, right? Because I'm listening. Because I'm learning to listen better. So the code for this, the soul code, introspection and meditation are the tools of self self-counsel, self-knowledge. Introspection and meditation are the tools of self-counsel, and self-knowledge. You go apart to seek the light of the soul. Apart from who? The distractions. And to contemplate the unfolding steps of your own destiny. Stay in your lane. This apparent inaction is the intelligent withdraw to act as a counter wish. Polarity. Pull back. Go away from the distractions. And source for fresh actions so that you and your actions are informed by your soul. That's what we want. We want to be informed by our souls. And the distractions keep us away from being informed by our souls, to listening to our souls, right? Because we're so busy trying to be active listeners and big-hearted people for everything that everyone has to say. Half the shit's bullshit. I'm sorry. Listen to your soul. Because half the shit that's coming out of people's mouths is bullshit. It's a distraction. You want to listen to your soul. What your soul's telling you about you and your destiny and where you're at and what you need to do and what you need to do. And it can feel like a bad place, you know? When you go into that hermit energy, when you go into that cutting everything away, you know, a lot of people feel like they turn their back on people that they love, right? Oh, you know, they're waiting for me to bring the chicken feed and the water. I bring it to her every week, girl. I can't take a break. No, you have to. They'll be all right without their chicken feed. They'll find somebody. Active listening for myself. Yeah, it's like in the now. It's like when everything is going on around you in the busy, ba, 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 being able to really listen to your soul in that place. And do what you're supposed to do with that. You know, a lot of people, you know, they receive bad advice. So they don't trust advice. Go in. Get the advice from your soul. There ain't no better guarantee than the advice from your soul. People will let you down. People will give you advice that feeds their fears sometimes. Their gut intuition, right? They don't do it on purpose. They're just trying to help you. They're trying to protect you from their fears, right? A lot of people in their lives, their relationships are feeling dull. What do you do when your relationship feels dull? You have to disconnect. You have to fill yourself back up. You have to fill yourself back up. Because a lot of times in a dull relationship, you're being dull, they're being dull. We ain't getting nowhere here, right? You need to take some time alone. You need to fill yourself back up with joy, happiness, and peace. What brings you joy, happiness, and peace? Quit waiting for Jesus to bring you joy, happiness, and peace. Quit waiting for your friends to bring you joy, happiness, and peace. You take the time, block all distractions out, fill yourself up. What brings you joy, happiness, and peace? That's the spark. That's the spark. Your joy, happiness, and peace and my joy, happiness, and peace, they're two totally different things. I love this. You might not love this. I don't care. It doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. It's yours. It's your soul. It's your connection, right? I just try to explain to you, let you know that it's not always like, you know, straightforward. A lot of maturing and development goes on in your alone time. It's okay to disconnect. My happiness is my responsibility. Yeah. And you can say that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us don't, you know, a lot of us will say that, but like what we feel like inside, we don't feel like that. Because maybe you might be feeling like so-and-so didn't take care of you enough, or, you know, left you alone, or lost, afraid, whatever, right? You have to go in you about that. You got to find your joy, happiness, and peace about that. What you're trying to hide is coming to you. Anything that you're trying to hide in your life is trying to come to you, especially if it's not making you feel good, especially if it's not aligned with joy, happiness, and peace for you. It's trying to reveal itself so you can nurture it and release it. I am no longer willing to give that power to someone else. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's really empowering. You know, when you take the responsibility, taking the responsibility isn't taking the blame for all the bullshit that happens. Taking the responsibility is, like she said, my happiness is my responsibility. My joy is my responsibility. My peace is my responsibility. So therefore, however you come at me, then I have the choice on how I need to handle that moving forward. I have the power. And it's not manipulating or anything. It's like either bring me joy, happiness, and peace or beat it. It's just like that. It's just like that. It's just like that. What brings you joy? Think about that today. Take some time alone. Ask, what brings me joy? Things will pop up. They might seem silly. Sometimes it's the silly things that bring you joy. For real. For real. It's get away from your distractions. You know, there's a lot of people that are really distracted, and we create this life. We create this life by our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our choices. The soul wants joy, happiness, and peace. The soul really wants to just have joy, happiness, and peace. That's it. And so that's how I know, like, when things are going on in my life, and, you know, how do you pick a wrong if there is no wrong, right? If it's not joy, happiness, and peace, that's not my soul. That's a distraction. That's how I navigate that. And it happens. You have things that come into your life that don't feel so joyous and happiness and peaceful, right? But you have choices on what you do with that. I love you because we're all connected. Sometimes whenever you're making choices on what to do with that, you need the advice from love. Love is trying to guide us. I love you guys. If you're going through anything, you want to talk, if this resonates with you, you know, there's a lot of people working through a lot of things. And I know that it's hard. And I know that there's a lot of distractions. And I know that there's a lot of judgment. And I know that it's, you know, hard to block out the distractions and listen in. And that's what we're doing. And, you know, more and more we're talking about it. More and more we're sharing that with one another. And more we're helping one another. And more we're nurturing what hurts in us to help other people. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. You can always tell, you know, where someone's at but when you listen to them. Anybody need any special love or anything right now? I'm getting ready to get off here. Go get my baby. It's the weekend, baby. I got so much exciting stuff going on, guys. You know, and it's funny because, you know, my heart's been through so much that I don't want to share with anybody but my quiet time. Sometimes people really fucking suck. I love my reminders today that really all people don't suck. It's just certain people, and that's okay. And I have a choice to make in that. I love you too, buddy. Big hugs to you back. We love you too. I love you guys. You know, I know it can get tough out here. I do. And I know it's tough to navigate, and I know everyone's trying really hard. You know, try laugh at yourself. Joy, happiness, and peace. You know, when I mess up, I just keep laughing at myself. Oh, I love you because we're all connected. I love you, and I know that there's a lot of people that are going through a lot of stuff, and it's just in you. It's in you, and you can, and you will, you know, if you believe in yourself. I've been hearing a lot of people recently talk some really bad things into their life, and you know, I don't want to tell them what to do, but I do make mention of it right away. I'm like, I don't know. You could really pick something else to say about that. I'm just saying. Is that what your heart really wants? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You don't have to say anything else. Send me some special love. Struggling, depressed, tired, dealing with these health issues. Oh, yes, Bridget. I'll send you definitely some extra special love. I'm so sorry. There's so much going on. I know somebody is struggling. Depressed, tired, dealing with health issues. And I send so much love. You know, it's hard being in your health issues. You know, I can remember a time, that's why this message is so important. I can remember a time where the outside of what my health issues were, it wasn't sounding right to what the inside was saying, and that was a really weird place to be for a long time. I was in that space for a long time, like 10 years, you know. And so it takes a long time to build a relationship inside of yourself. It takes a long time to really start to listen to the love inside of you. Yeah, thank you, Betty. Thank you, Katarina. So be patient with yourself, you know. That's what I mean. Like, I used to always get mad at myself because I didn't feel like I was getting, like, the messages from the divine at certain times in my life when I was really busy. And so when I said I'm trying to learn how to listen, that's what I meant, right? And, you know, it takes time. You don't always get it. And that's all right. You know, I don't always get it. Just like, you know, the stink in my house. It takes you a while sometimes to find it. It's all right. Frustrated, you cuss a little bit, you threaten everybody, act a goddamn fool. Then you find it, and get rid of it, eliminate. Operation no stink up in here anymore. Thank you. And then you laugh at yourself, right? I don't know. I was starting to think that I was like, you know, what in the hell? Like, are people putting spells on me? Like, what the fuck is going on? What is that smell? And then people were trying to be nice to me. And they're like, oh no, Sarah, your house doesn't smell. Your house is my favorite smelling house. And I'm like, you're trying to be nice because you smell that? What is that smell? And it's just like, I'm like, you see, when I walk past here, you see, you smell it? And then they'd be like, no. And I'm like, you liar. I knew it stuck in here. Ew, it was so gross. It was so gross. I love my best friend. That's like that's the analogy of our best friendship. We've been through it, you know, but we still love one another. It takes a while to find the stink in your life. You know, the more you connect with yourself, the easier the stink will just conjunct right on out of here. And so it is. Oh, the analogies, you know. Everybody's story for everybody's perception on the way that it is. And I'm right. Who's right? She's right. Listen in. Listen inside yourself. Listen with the ears inside the ears, right? Cut out the distractions and take some time and listen to yourself. Speak life into you. Speak life, speak health, speak positivity, speak regeneration, speak wellness, speak energy, speak great bonds, speak great experiences, great opportunities, great people, great moments, right? Speak that into you. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Because a lot of times they try to keep you right where they need you. And a lot of times they'll tell you just that. And you're like, oh my God, I love them so much. I love you guys because we're all connected. Happy Friday. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. Take care of your spirit. Wrap yourself in a love bubble. And have a good weekend. Mwah. One love.